dream it all. Listen close and join my song. Gentle stories all night long. Snuggle in and rest your head. Magic dreams will now be spread. Close your eyes so calm and bright. Now begins our dream. Now begins our dream.
Lulu and the river that forgot its name. The air was still. Not quiet, not truly, but still, as if even the wind had forgotten how to move. Lulu walked along a narrow path lined with reeds that no longer swayed. The world around her shimmered faintly in the afternoon light, caught in a hush that felt older than time. Ahead, a wide river stretched across the valley. Its surface gleamed like glass, smooth and unmoving. No ripples, no sound of running water. Even the reflection of the clouds above looked trapped, unable to drift away. Lulu stopped at the edge of the bank. "You're not flowing," she whispered. The river didn't answer. A frog's croak broke the stillness, low, soft, and oddly melodic. It came from a cluster of reeds near her hoof. She peered closer and saw a small frog with bright emerald eyes sitting atop a rock, his throat puffing up and down in rhythm with his voice. "Oh," Lulu said kindly. "Are you singing to it?" The frog blinked slowly. "Trying to," he said, his voice musical but tired. "But the river doesn't sing back anymore." Lulu sat beside him, her wool brushing against the reeds. "What happened to it?" He looked toward the frozen water. "It forgot its name." She tilted her head. "Its name?" "Yes." The frog gave a small sigh. "Every river has one. It's the word that keeps it moving, the word the world whispers when it rains. But one day, the rain stopped calling, and the river stopped answering." Lulu gazed out across the still expanse. The light shimmered faintly, as if something deep within the water still tried to remember how to shine. "What's your name?" she asked gently. "Mirren," the frog said. "I used to live on its banks when the water still laughed." "Laughed?" Lulu smiled faintly. "Rivers can laugh?" Mirren nodded solemnly. "When they run, they hum a song. When they leap over stones, they laugh. When they slow to rest, they sigh. It's their way of breathing. But this one," he gestured toward the silent surface, "hasn't breathed in many seasons." Lulu leaned closer to the water. Beneath the reflection of the sky, she could almost see faint shapes moving, whispers of fish that weren't there, echoes of ripples that never came. She spoke softly, almost to herself. "Maybe it's not gone. Maybe it's only waiting for someone to remember it." Before Mirren could reply, A shadow passed overhead. A long, graceful shape glided through the sunlight, wings silver as moonlight, feathers stretched wide. The bird descended and landed beside them with quiet dignity. His long legs touched the ground without a sound, and when he folded his wings, they shimmered faintly like rippling water. "Another listener," the bird said, his voice deep and slow. "It has been a long time." Mirren bowed his head. "Taviel," he said softly, "the watcher of the river." The heron inclined his long neck in greeting. "Watcher, yes, but what I watch now is only stillness." He turned his piercing silver eyes toward Lulu. "You can hear it, can't you? The silence beneath the surface." Lulu nodded slowly. "It feels like it wants to speak." "Then perhaps," Taviel murmured, "it still remembers how." He extended one wing toward the unmoving current. "Long ago, this river carried time itself, days, dreams, seasons, but it grew weary. When the world stopped listening to its story, it forgot its own." Lulu's voice was quiet but steady. "Maybe it needs a new story." Mirren's throat puffed up. "You'd help it?" "Of course," Lulu said, smiling softly. "Stories only stop when we stop telling them." Taviel's silver feathers caught the sunlight like ripples of a vanished tide. "Then follow me, little one. If the river remembers its source, it may remember its name." He spread his wings, and the air stirred for the first time that day, a faint whisper of wind brushing against Lulu's wool. The reeds trembled as if surprised to be alive. Mirren hopped onto Lulu's back, and together they followed Taviel along the quiet shore, toward the place where the river began to dream again. They followed the river upstream. The still water mirrored every leaf, every cloud, every flicker of light, perfect reflections, but none alive. It was as if the world itself had been painted on its surface. Taviel walked slowly ahead, his long steps graceful, his feathers gleaming with a faint silver hue. Lulu and Mirren followed close behind, the frog perched on her wool, humming quietly under his breath. After a while, Lulu asked softly, "How far does it go like this?" "Farther than it should," Taviel replied. "When it forgot its name, time stopped moving through it. Now the days that should have passed linger here forever." Mirren nodded gravely. "You can hear them sometimes, echoes of what was." As if in answer, the wind shifted. A faint murmur drifted from the water's edge, not speech, not song, but something that trembled between both. Lulu stopped and listened. "It's talking," she whispered. The heron inclined his head. "Careful. It remembers too many voices at once." The air shimmered faintly, and the reflection of the sky rippled though the water itself didn't move. Then came the whisper again, clearer now, threading through the air like mist. "We were laughter once, we were rain, we were the way home." Mirren's throat quivered. It's remembering. Taviel's eyes gleamed. Yes, fragments, but not yet its name. Lulu knelt at the river's edge. Can I ask it? The heron hesitated. You may, but remember, names are not given, they are returned. Lulu reached out her hoof until it just brushed the water's surface. It felt cold, yet deep inside the chill was something softer, like warmth waiting to wake. Hello, she whispered. You don't have to be afraid. I'm listening. For a long moment, there was nothing. Then the water began to glow, faint, pale blue light spreading outward like veins beneath glass. A voice rose from the depths, full of longing. I carried dreams once. I sang them to the sea, but when they stopped singing back, I fell silent. Mirren whispered, It's lonely. Lulu nodded. Then we'll sing for it. The frog blinked. I can sing. He puffed out his throat and began a low, trembling tune, simple, but full of life. Each note echoed faintly against the unmoving surface, forming ripples of light even though the water didn't move. Taviel lowered his wings slightly, the silver tips brushing the air. That is good, but it needs more than sound. Lulu looked up at him. What does it need? Memory, said the heron. Every river begins somewhere, not with rain or stone, but with meaning. The frog croaked, puzzled. Meaning? The first moment someone looked upon it and gave it purpose, Taviel said. The first words spoken in its presence. Its true beginning. Lulu's eyes softened. Then we need to find where that moment still lives. Taviel spread his wings again, scattering faint silver dust that drifted like feathers across the air. Follow the light that remains. It will take us to the river's first dream. The blue glow beneath the glass brightened, forming a narrow, shimmering path upstream. Lulu stood, Mirren clinging to her back, and began to walk. The air grew colder, but not unkind. It felt like stepping through a memory that had been waiting too long to be seen. As they moved, the reflections around them began to shift. Instead of the present sky, Lulu saw images beneath the water, fleeting pictures of what once was children splashing, rain falling, fish darting through current. The river was remembering. Mirren whispered in awe, It's waking. Taviel's deep voice echoed softly, reverent. No, it's remembering what it means to move. The light ahead pulsed brighter, leading them toward a faint mist rising from the source. Lulu felt her heart beat faster. We're close, she said. Taviel nodded. Beyond that mist lies the river's first word. And as they stepped into the shimmering haze, the world around them began to hum, a sound like time breathing in. The mist grew thicker until it wrapped around them like a dream. It shimmered faintly, silver and pale blue, moving in slow spirals as if the air itself was remembering how to breathe. Lulu could no longer see the sky, only the glow of the river beneath her hooves, guiding them forward. Mirren clung to her wool, his voice small. "It's so quiet here." Taviel's steps were careful and deliberate. This is where the river began. Every sound that ever touched it still lives in this place. They came to a clearing. At its center stood a pool of water, perfectly round, perfectly still. It was shallow, clear enough that Lulu could see smooth stones beneath its surface, each one faintly carved with swirling lines, almost like letters. Above it, the mist swirled slowly, forming a faint circle of light. "The source," Taviel murmured. "It remembers everything that was once spoken into it." Lulu stepped closer. The air felt heavy here, not cold, not dark, just full of something vast and waiting. "Can it hear us?" she asked quietly. The heron bowed his head. "It always hears. It has simply forgotten how to answer." Mirren took a shaky breath and croaked softly, a single note, trembling but clear. The sound drifted over the pool and was swallowed whole. No echo, no ripple, nothing. Lulu's heart ached. It's like it doesn't trust sound anymore. Taviel nodded. When a song is forgotten too many times, silence becomes its only memory. Lulu knelt beside the pool, staring at the faint markings on the stones beneath. She could almost feel something beneath her hoof, a pulse, faint and rhythmic, buried deep within the stillness. "I think it's still breathing," she whispered. She leaned closer, her reflection meeting her eyes. The moment she did, the pool shimmered and a voice, soft as starlight, spoke inside her mind. "Who are you that remembers me?" Lulu gasped quietly. "I'm Lulu." The voice sighed, a sound both sad and tender. "Once, I was the way between worlds. I carried the sky to the sea. I was song and time and motion. But when the hearts above stopped listening, I became only reflection." Mirren whispered, "It's talking to you." Lulu didn't look away. "Then I'll listen until you remember." The water pulsed gently beneath her reflection. "Do you know what I was called?" Lulu shook her head slowly. "Not yet, but I think you do." The light beneath the pool brightened, and the markings on the stones began to glow faintly, swirling together, forming symbols that seemed to move like currents of light. Taviel spread his wings. "It's showing us its first memory." The mist above the pool shimmered and came alive. Images appeared, faint, transparent shapes made of light, rain falling on bare earth, streams joining to form the first current, sunlight breaking across new waves. A voice, the same voice, whispered through the vision. "Once I was called Mirren, the one who moves between dawn and dusk." The light trembled, then dimmed. Mirren's eyes widened. Miralyn, that's its name. Lulu nodded, but it doesn't believe it anymore. The water darkened slightly. Names are only true when spoken by those who mean them. Lulu's voice was soft but steady. Then let me try. She took a breath and whispered, Miralyn. The sound barely touched the air, yet the effect was instant. The pool glowed from within, the light rippling outward like a heartbeat. The surface of the still river beyond began to tremble, faintly, then more, until the first true ripple in many seasons spread through its body. Mirren gasped. It's moving! Taviel lowered his head, his voice a reverent murmur. She's waking it. The voice within the pool trembled, full of awe and disbelief. You remember me. Lulu smiled. I never forgot. The water surged brighter, and the sound of running current, real current, began to hum faintly in the distance. The river was breathing again. But with the movement came something else, a low rumble from beneath, a stirring too deep to be gentle. The mist shivered violently, and the ground beneath them quaked. Mirren clutched Lulu's wool. What's happening? Taviel spread his wings wide. It's not only the river waking, it's time itself. The heron's silver feathers shone like moonlight on storm water. The river's name carried the flow of seasons. When it stopped, the world forgot how to turn. Now it remembers. Lulu looked out toward the river, where the once still surface now moved like glass being breathed upon. Then it's not just waking, it's catching up. Taviel's tone was solemn, and we must help it remember gently, or it will drown in all the years it lost. Lulu took a deep breath, steadying herself. Then we'll guide it, together. The heron nodded. Then prepare yourself, little one. The current of time is not easily tamed. The light from the pool flared, blinding, pure, and the world began to move again. The light surged outward, washing the valley in silver and blue. What had been silent for so long now roared softly with motion. The air shimmered as the first ripples spread through the river, slow, trembling waves that carried the weight of forgotten years. Mirren clung to Lulu's back, eyes wide. It's alive. Taviel hovered above them, his wings cutting through the glowing mist. Steady now, he warned. Every heartbeat it missed will come rushing back. The water quickened, gathering strength as if inhaling after a lifetime without breath. Its surface rippled, shimmered, then burst into movement, flowing faster, brighter, alive. The reflections that had been trapped beneath the glass scattered like free birds. Lulu felt the pull in her chest, a rhythm that wasn't hers but felt familiar. The flow of time itself brushed against her heart. It's remembering everything at once, she whispered. The river's voice rose, not as words, but as a song made of light. It trembled through the valley, carrying echoes of every life it had once touched, laughter on bridges, raindrops falling on open hands, moonlight dancing on ripples. Mirren croaked softly, overwhelmed. It's beautiful. Taviel dipped low, his reflection gliding across the waves. And dangerous. The past must flow forward, not flood the present. The current swelled higher, circling the pool where the source still glowed. Lulu could feel the river struggling, torn between the stillness it had known and the motion it had lost. She stepped closer to the edge, her hooves sinking slightly into the damp soil. Miralyn, she called gently. It's all right. You don't have to carry it alone. The river's voice answered, deep and trembling. So many moments. I cannot hold them all. Taviel's eyes shone, then release them, as you once did. The current shuddered. If I let them go, will I still be me? Lulu smiled softly. Yes, because you are the flow, not the memories. You are the space they move through. For a moment, there was only wind, real wind, sweeping through the valley. Then, with a sound like a sigh too vast for words, the river began to let go. Images rose from the water like drifting stars, reflections of old days, forgotten seasons, lost voices. They floated upward, gleaming softly, before fading into the open sky. Mirren whispered, "They're beautiful." "Their memories finding their rest," said Taviel. "What was bound is free." The water calmed, its motion now steady and true. Its song changed, quieter, gentler, not sorrowful, but peaceful. Lulu closed her eyes, letting the cool mist brush her wool. It's breathing again. Taviel folded his wings and stood beside her. And so is the world. The valley shimmered with new light, sunlight breaking through moving air, grass bending in a breeze that had long been still. The sound of flowing water filled the silence where time had once slept. Mirren blinked up at Lulu. "You did it. You gave it back its voice." She shook her head gently. "No, I just reminded it that silence was never the end of the song." The heron looked toward the horizon, where the river wound onward, glowing faintly in the morning sun. It will carry this moment forever. The frog tilted his head. Does it remember its name now? Taviel smiled. Names are not for keeping, they are for calling. And it will answer now, whenever the world speaks it. Lulu turned toward the flowing water and whispered one last time, "Miralyn." The current shimmered, brighter than before, as if smiling, and whispered back, "Lulu." The heron closed his eyes. It knows you now. And with that, the final fragments of stillness faded from the valley. The world moved softly, endlessly, perfectly in rhythm again. Morning spread slowly across the valley, sunlight gliding along the newly awakened current. What had once been still now sparkled and moved, a ribbon of living light cutting through the green fields. The air smelled of rain and beginnings. Lulu walked beside the riverbank, her hooves sinking softly into damp soil. Beside her hopped Mirren, his eyes wide and bright, watching the water rush past. Taviel glided above them, his silver feathers scattering reflections onto the surface below. The river hummed gently, a sound that wasn't quite a voice, but something deeper, the rhythm of time finding its way again. Lulu smiled. It sounds happy. Mirren puffed his throat proudly. Of course it is. It's got its name back, and it's moving again. The heron landed beside them, his steps slow, graceful. It remembers more than its name, he said. It remembers that it belongs to the world and the world to it. They followed the curve of the water until they reached a bend where wildflowers grew, their petals brushing the waves. The current here was calm and golden, the kind of light that carries warmth even in silence. Lulu stopped and looked into the reflection. Her own image shimmered softly, broken by ripples that spread outward like small circles of song. You'll keep singing, won't you? She whispered. The water replied with a soft, rolling sound like laughter beneath the surface. Mirren hopped onto a rock. I'll stay here. Someone has to keep it company. Taviel nodded approvingly. And I will watch the skies for its reflection. The river's path runs through clouds as much as stone. Lulu looked at them both, warmth in her eyes. Then it will never be alone again. The heron bowed his head. Nor will you, little one. Wherever water moves, you will be remembered. Lulu smiled faintly. Because I listened? Because you cared, Taviel said. The wind swept through the reeds, carrying the scent of the flowing current and the soft hum of its new song. Lulu closed her eyes, breathing it in. She could feel the world moving again, slow, steady, endless. Goodbye, Mirren. Goodbye, Taviel. Goodbye, Lulu. The frog croaked, his voice bright and certain. Taviel lifted his wings. May your path flow true. Lulu turned away, walking along the bank until the sound of the river became part of the wind itself. Behind her, Mirren, the river with its name returned, sang quietly to the sky. And when Lulu looked back one last time, she saw sunlight catch the surface, splitting into hundreds of tiny reflections that shimmered like stars on water. Each one a memory, alive again. She whispered, "Keep flowing." The river's answer rippled across the valley, a soft, endless hum. And somewhere far downstream, where the water met the sea, the tide carried a single word into the morning. Lulu.
Now it's quiet. your stars so clear. Lulu whispers soft and bright, sleep so well and good night. Sweetest dreams will softly flow. Lulu stays with you, you know, till we meet again, my dear. Let your dreams keep drawing near. Till we meet again, my dear. Let your dreams keep drawing